When I think about owning an item for over 10 years, there are a few classic examples that pop into my mind. A car, a couch or other furniture, maybe that hoodie from college that you can never seem to throw away. But one thing that never pops up is electronics because we live in a day and age where we upgrade our smartphones every 2 years, our computers every 3 years, and generally any electronic over 5 years old is considered ancient. However, one product I've owned for 10 years are my computer speakers. I bought them back in 2009 and they work just as great as the day I bought them. They're called the Hi-Vi Swans M10 computer speakers, and I think they're the best computer speakers you can buy. Now, I know that's a bold statement, and I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments saying, well, I can hook up $5,000 Macintosh speakers to my computer, so you're a liar. And yeah, that's true, but there's also diminishing returns, and there's reasonable ceilings for what you would use a product for. And if you're looking to just upgrade your audio for general computing like Netflix and YouTube, I don't think you can do much better than this speaker set for the price they cost. So like I said, I bought the Swans M10 back in 2009 and they still work great to this day. I paid about $120 for them because back then you could only get them on one website, but now they're available on Amazon and they're only $80, which is great because I wanted to buy a second pair for my office. So luckily enough, not only can I still find these speakers 10 years later, but they're available on Amazon now and they're cheaper and they're still available in the white and black and gold configuration, which is really great because that's the exact colorway that I'm going for in my office setup. So since I bought this second set, I thought I'd share with you guys my thoughts on my experience with the Swans M10 after 10 years of use. So why are these speakers so amazing? Well, for the $80, the level of detail and clarity is simply astounding. These guys outclass speakers that are 2 to 3 times more expensive. As far as sound signature goes, you can expect very bright highs and very prominent mids on the M10. The subwoofer does feature a dial on the back that lets you adjust the bass level so you can bring the low end to what you prefer. One thing to note is that because this is a smaller subwoofer, it's only 5 inches I think, you're not going to get that super thumping bass like you might get with the Klipsch Pro Media 2.1, which has a much larger subwoofer. However, it's still there, so speaking audio-wise, I definitely hear that low end and I get a nice warm sound, which is what I prefer. However, if you're looking to throw parties and you really want that low end thumping, this might not be the speaker for you. One thing to also note is, with that opinion that I have on these speakers, I actually use the subwoofer in the not recommended way. They actually recommend that you put the subwoofer on the desk because it's smaller, so you get a better low end experience. However, this takes up a lot of desk space, so I decided to put it under my desk against those recommendations, and it still sounds fine when I have the dial up. So just one thing to keep in mind there. So what's funny is in the past 10 years, not a whole lot has changed in the world of computer speakers. Your top 3 choices are still the Swans M10s, the Klipsch Pro Media 2.1s, or the Audio Engine A2s, and in terms of level and detail and clarity, the Swans M10 prevail when they're a half to a third of the price of the competition, which is really crazy. Realistically, the only real contender to the Swans M10 is the Klipsch Pro Media 2.1, and basically for a quick and dirty comparison, I'll break it down like this. In terms of clarity, the Swans M10 wins. However, if you're looking for that low-end bass, that bigger subwoofer from the Pro Media 2.1s will outperform the low end of the M10. So if you're looking for a speaker system for like your dorm room for some get-togethers and you really want that bass thumping, you'd probably want to go with the Klipsch. So as far as other differences between the Pro Media 2.1 and the Swans M10 is basically in the controls. The controls for the M10 are pretty sparse. You have a power switch on the back of the sub, and then you have a dial for the bass control. Then on the front of the sub, you have this volume dial here, which if you end up putting your sub on the floor, it makes it incredibly difficult to reach and control. Meanwhile, the Pro Media 2.1s have these dials on the front of one of their satellite speakers, and they also have a mic and headphone jack on the speaker too, which means changing over to like privately listening to audio that much easier. So those are some really nice positives from Klipsch that if, Swans ever made an updated version to the M10, I would love to see some of that implemented. I would love to just see a bass dial and a volume dial and then a headphone jack right on one of these speakers. And then honestly, these would be perfect. So at the end of the day, based on my experience with my first set of Swans M10, it was really a no-brainer to go with the second set for my office setup. If you're interested in checking out the Swans M10 speaker system, I've got a link down in the description panel below. Once again, I'm Steggy, and until my next video, I will catch you guys later.